One of the most important things, and probably overlooked, about confession is that first and foremost, it's a human need.
You know, confiding with the priest, telling him my sins, and the priest usually gives me advice and how I can, amend that and, try and do better. So I think confession just is one of those things that really helps me improve in my daily life and helps me become a better person, a better citizen of the world.
That secrecy of the confessional is absolute. What the code of canon law calls inviolable. It cannot be violated. And it is a mortal sin for any priest to violate the seal of the sacrament, whether directly or indirectly.
Lawmakers in the United States, Chile, and Australia are trying to address the child sex abuse crisis by compelling priests to report such crimes learned in the confessional. Many countries have laws requiring priests and other professionals to be mandatory reporters of information related to child sexual abuse. However, most jurisdictions exclude information priests learn when hearing a confession, recognizing that the Catholic Church requires priests to hold everything that is said in the confessional in strictest confidence. It's referred to as the seal of confession. However, in the aftermath of the clergy sexual abuse scandals, some lawmakers are looking to remove the penitential communication exception for priests. This would compel them to violate the seal of confession if there are claims of child sex abuse. Lawmakers in several parts of Australia have successfully passed such legislation, and there are a few states in the U.S. that don't offer a confession exception in mandatory reporting laws. California State Senator Jerry Hill has introduced legislation that would remove the confession exception from its mandatory reporting laws.
What prompted me to get involved in this legislation and to take this on as an issue was that as you look at the 46 mandated reporters in California today, it's worked. It has been successful in identifying, bringing to justice, and preventing child abuse and neglect. But the one area where it hasn't done that, and one area where there is basically a loophole in law, is with the penitential communication.
I think it's worth noting that the mandatory reporting statute, the clergy penitent privilege, and the seal of confession, these three doctrines, if you will, are all in tension with each other. They all serve very positive social goods, but these kinds of circumstances bring them in tension with each other, and it's a very difficult problem to solve.
Frankly, child abusers don't confess the sin of child sexual abuse in confession. They don't do that. I have never heard it in confessional. I never will. None of the priests I know have heard it. It's just, they can pass the law, but it's not going to have any impact whatsoever. It's just going to make people feel good. But are we really concerned about protecting children? That's my issue, is that we're doing all sorts of emotional things which make us feel better, but does it protect children? I think the answer is no.
The danger of opening an exception to the seal of confession, that essentially kind of disenfranchises the whole sacrament.
In my experience as a penitent, one of the reasons that confession has been such a major part of my life is because I believe firmly that the Lord heals us in specificity, and having that freedom to speak very honestly and frankly and bluntly to a priest about the sins that I've committed, not just kind of using euphemisms. That's where the Lord really heals me in that specific aspect. And if there are challenges against that, as a penitent, I would be more reticent to share my heart in that honest way. And that could be an obstacle to that full healing. I think that is part and parcel of the sacrament itself.
I think you would find priests heroically being civilly disobedient and refusing to break the seal and probably going to jail.